if this works. Nope, I don't want that. I'm so sorry. I am genuinely so sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. Is this? No, it's still. Oh, I hate this so much. I could not hate it more. All right. I don't know why. It keeps telling me to rotate it, but when I rotate it, nothing changes. So I don't know what it wants me to do. Like literally nothing changes. Oh. Well, I will try to zoom in. I will do the best I can. I will never do another one of these again. That is for sure. Me and YouTube will have to turn auto rotate on and then back again. I'll try it. That's what I did in the last time, and it did not work. But I'm not above it. Okay, we tried that. Like nothing's changing. Well, Amy, I might as well text you now, girl. We're not crafting anything. Literally nothing is happening in this live. Why will you not just rotate? Like, I don't understand. If I go this way, nothing changes. Most likely you need to swipe from the upper right on your phone. I understand that you need to that she said you need to begin in that orientation. I tried that. I tried starting in a different orientation. It didn't like it. I unclicked the lock. The auto rotate is on. It is not auto rotating. Like it's not. Yes, I understand rotate device, but it's not working. Yeah, you're not kidding. The joys of tech. Okay, well, we're gonna do what we can with what we got, guys. I will try to zoom in here so that you can see. I understand portrait is not ideal. I get it. What do we got? We have a very small area. Too far out. Oh, I'm going to make you all seasick. All right. Well, we'll do what we can. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be great. Oh. All right. So this is the game plan because I literally worked on this thing all week long and I couldn't come up with anything that came out any kind of way that I liked. So this is what we're working with. I will up in the hopes that on your very teeny tiny screen that you will be able to see a portion of what we are doing. I have never in my life, well, I shouldn't say that. I have been this aggravated with technology before. It's not great. I'm not a big fan. So I'm going to use, this is the Saint Nick stamp set. It's kind of like an old school Santa Claus because honestly, I can color it. That's really, that's really what it came down to. It's a very pretty image. Um, and I am a big fan of it. We're just going to slide him right here into the corner. I think I am going to end up cutting him out, but he's pretty perfectly sized for an A2 size card. So I need to make sure that I fit him all on what I'm looking for here. Oh, I wish I thank you for coming from Dawn's Live. That's very sweet of you. Um, what is going on in the comments? Cut it out. It's crafting. If I can get through this mess, there's no reason for anybody to be nasty in the comments. Knock it off. We're all adults. Card making butterflies and rainbows and stuff. Lord have mercy. And I think I just moved my cardstock. Okay. So we are going to use our Intense Black because it works with alcohol markers. So I'm going to scoot this over so you can see me ink it up. You can't see both. Okay, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't see me ink it up and see me stamp it down. You can only see one or the other. That's all I have to offer you tonight. All right. I guess I could slide it over so you can see me stamp it down in our very small 3x4 area in which we're working this evening. Okay. It is a super cute image. Oh, look it. I should have been using my pressure tool and maybe I wouldn't have had that problem. But that problem is then I shake the desk. So, all right, I'm going to stamp him twice. I'm going to stamp him 2 times. Oh, well, I typically only have a 3x4 area because my desk is a hot mess as well. But if you guys follow my channel, you know that my sisters and my mom recently came over and helped a sister out because my room was completely overrun with boxes. But like in the best way, it was overrun in the best way possible. Susie, I used our Intense Black Be Creative ink, if you can see it. That is what Misties are for. I try to only stamp 2 times because if you keep layering on the ink, it will start to like kind of bloom out, because it's soaking into the paper. So I try to do it twice, just because I like a bold black outline, and then I try to just leave it alone. So that's what we got so far. That's what we're working with. And I'm a turner, but I will desperately try to keep him in this area. I actually, Belinda, I just sent her a message because I would show you, but I'm terrified to move this phone. I'm going to be honest with you. Just absolutely terrified. Um, it's very full. She hasn't been over in 2 weeks and the card pile is very full. So I will try not to turn the paper. And remember how I told you that I did not have my business together at all? I fully intended to use the last half an hour before we went live to get all of my items together, because that's when Miss Lady Caitlin goes to bed. But I was trying to figure out how to log into this live, and so and so I still don't have any of my stuff together. It's all just sitting on my desk, kind of a mess. Mostly the markers. There it is. All right. So I'm going to start with all the things I want to be white. So these are the colors I'm going to use. I'm trying to see on my phone. Nope, you can't see them. It's trickery. I'll move them up. So I'm going to do all of these white first because I don't want to pick up, like going back in, I don't want to pick up any of my red with my white. So all the things I want to be white, I'm going to put in my shadows first. So that would be his hat. And here the second portion of his hat is laying over it so that this part would be in shadow. And then I'm going to follow the little lines that the illustrator put in here. He's such a cute, happy little Santa. And then his hair, this is his hair, would also be white. And that his little eyebrows, can't not shade his eyebrows. Mustache. He does have a cute little beard, doesn't he? And then his actual beard. So this hat is laying on top of it, so that would have some shadows. And then down here, I'm going to bring this up a little bit. I'm not going to hit all of these illustrator lines, just because I feel like that would be so detailed, like such a detailed beard. And not that that wouldn't be pretty, but that's a lot. So I'll get under his mouth. See, now I said I wasn't going to get them all, but here I am getting them all. You ever just feel like you can't stop yourself? You just have to keep doing it. Now I'm doing it. It's done. We're committed now, Kelly. All right. I'm just going to add some shading under his little mustache. All right. So that's our lightest color. What you're capable of until you start, but you got to start. If you don't, you're never going to get any better or more comfortable if you don't pull the trigger and do it. Got to do it. Even if it's just little, you don't have to do like these ones, like this Santa. This Santa is so easy because he's so big. Littler images are much harder to color. So get you a big one. Hi Dawn, did you miss the poop show that started this thing off where I couldn't figure out what I was doing? Well, I'm sure by now you figured you figured out that I still don't know what I'm doing because I'm in portrait on this live. All right. So we're just doing the same thing, going in, following those lines. But you want to make sure when you're coloring something white. Amy, I will text you. Thank you for all of your help. I genuinely appreciate you. You're lovely. So, you want to leave white. When you're coloring things white, we're just putting in the shadows. And I know that it looks super dark right now and a little bit scary. Like I'm making Santa salt and pepper. But once we start adding in the brighter colors, it's not going to look gray anymore. It's going to look white. But if you don't add any shadows in there, then he just looks flat. So we got to have some dimension. Oh, look it, I forgot that one altogether. Didn't add a single bit of shading to it. Not one bit. All right. So do I need this C7? Um, well, you're a good friend, Dawn. Thank you for coming over here to cheer me on. I appreciate you. All right, so I'm just going to add this 7 kind of in the darkest parts. I'm not going to add it all over, just as Kathy Rakusin would say, in the nooks and crannies. Just going to add a very little bit of it. Just kind of there. All right. So now I'm not even going to blend back out with my 5 because I put so little 7 in it. I'm going to go directly to the 3. And with that, I'm going to blend out the 5. Again, still leaving, you can see how much white we still have here. Quite a bit of highlight. Just going to blend that, blend, blend, blend. And there are some times, even though like I've been coloring for a very long time and I'm pretty comfortable with my Copics and I'm fairly confident in my ability, there are some times that like at this stage, I'm still like, this looks wild, y'all. This looks weird. This looks weird. Brandon, I will get the cuffs. I was just trying to get this area. I got to get his little puff ball and then the cuffs of his sleeves. And I also think Santa's gloves are white. Blend out his little eyebrows. Yeah, what is that at the end of the hat? A little pom-pom? What do we call that? So just going to try to go through and get all the white areas first. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I'm going to leave it and move on to, yeah, pom-pom, puff. I'm good with either one of those. And then I'm going to move on to the next ones. I don't think the trim down here is white, but I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh, the middle part. What do you even call that? It's not a zipper. Well, maybe it is a zipper. I don't get Santa dressed. I don't know. But the part where his coat meets, that's so this I'm going to cut, the die cut is a straight line, but I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anything uncolored. So I will just overcolor the image just a little bit. Trying to read the comments as I go. All right. So here, add a little shading there, get this little puffy ball. The lines are drawn kind of at like a little swirl, so I'm going to follow those lines. I'm going to get this trim. Boop, boop, boop. That's what I do to Caitlin when I take her pacifier and I boop her in the nose with it. All right. So then this one, I imagine it goes, that, nope, that's the bell. See, that's why we start with our lightest color, so it doesn't matter if we accidentally color something we shouldn't. No, I don't. I don't dress Santa. Of all my husband and I, every year, even before he was my husband, just when we were people who worked together, we do shop with a cop. And he could be Santa, but he's never been Santa. So they always find another Santa for Shop with a Cop, which actually this year I have a scheduling conflict, but I'm hoping to resolve it so that I can still go because they sent me a message and asked me if I would do the face painting, but y'all, I haven't painted a face in a long time thanks to COVID. So I don't even know how that would go. I have to call my son's friends over and be like, sit still, let me paint your face. Oh, I did that bell again. Kelly, what are you doing? All right, that's that. Yes, Lacey, that's excellent advice. You can always use grays as your base and then put your color over it. In fact, that was one of the things, if we have time, I'm not saying we will, because who knows how long this is going to take me here, considering how long it took us to get started. Um, that was one of the things that I thought about doing tonight was doing the gray shading and showing how you can, skip the multiple colors, shades with your gray, and then add another color over top, just glaze over top of it. So I did consider that, but um, I couldn't make that work in a way that I liked it. I don't really know why. Me and my mojo are not on speaking terms right now. We're not really friends. I don't know why it decided it doesn't like me, but for right now, it's not my biggest fan. All right, so I don't really see. I guess there's a couple of spots I could add the 7 into this. I could maybe make a little deeper in his hand here. But there's nothing real pressing there that I think needs a lot of darkness. Okay, so now back out to the 3. I'm going to have to go back through after we're done so I can make sure that I answer any questions in the comments. I'm trying to I'm trying to read them in color at the same time. Oh, Andrea, thank you. I'm trying. I'm I'm giving it my best. It's that dispatching, multitasking, which I haven't worked in forever. I had like a ton of time where I didn't work even part-time. I wasn't in there at all. And I've worked the last 2 nights until 3 a.m. um, and I'm not built for it. Now I'm on a day shift schedule. So needless to say, it's been a little rough in the Taylor household the last couple of days. All right, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. And we will move on. I think I'm going to move on to his skin tone is what I'm going to do. Trying to get my things together. I'm sure it's probably clicking. Clickety clacking. All right. Here we go. And I will try to get it into the center so you can see it. Boop. Oh, I need to scooch it over. Shoop. Brandon, I hope your pot roast is delicious. All right. So we're going to go in here. He's got little squinty eyes. Add some shading to his nose. All right. So usually it's the lightest kind of like in the center of the face. So I'm adding shading underneath his hat here. And then kind of like up from his beard. His little cheeks are very full, so I'm adding a little bit of shading up there. Bottom of his nose. This one always, I think, scares people when I go in with my Copics because it is a little bit of a darker color and you kind of got to commit to using it, but it really does blend out really nicely. And gives the face just a lot of dimension. All right. And we're moving our way back out to our lightest color. And with the lightest color, I'm just going to kind of go in and give everything a little once over, make sure it's all blended. And I'm pretty happy with how that looks. He's rosy cheeks, so we're going to commit to that. This might actually not be rosy enough. I went with an R20. I'm going to try an R32. Oh yeah, I like that better. And I'm going to use that for down here as well. This is that same EO4. I'll blend that back out. Okay. Now, let's do... Oh, I'm moving it on you. I'm sorry. I forgot about my small area of which I have to work in. Thanks, YouTube. All right, I'm going to do gold. And again, I'm going to try to get it in the middles there so you can see it. Yes, Sandy Allnock's hex chart is amazing. Oh, look at, I'm barely in the frame. Let me tilt him back. All right, so now we're going to do the bell, his buttons, and his buckle. Make those all nice and gold. Just going to fill it in with my lightest color. And then right over that gray area that I forgot about when I was doing the... So here with your shading, just kind of pick to the left or the right. I like if you can even see from my desk lamp, if my light source is in the top right, my shadows are coming down into the bottom left. And that is my preferred, so that's how I'm going to color it. For the bell, to give it a more round appearance and to um, take into account that his hands are on either side of it, I will not have very much of my lightest color in this portion. And the belt buckle, I will be adding the shading again to the down and to the left. And a lot of this, when I hear people that are having a hard time with their Copics, a lot of times it's heavy-handedness because you don't need to use very much pressure to get a good enough, well, I shouldn't say a good, enough ink on there for it to make a difference. You don't need a lot of pressure for that. I hear you. I hear you, Brandon. I will see what I can do. But you know I like colors, so that's a hard one for me. All right. So now we're all the way out to our darkest color. We're going to work our way back. Oh, Amy, you were not lousy tech support. You were very sweet to answer my panicked text message 5 minutes before I went live. I'm sure you had other things, other things you would have been working on. All right. And out to the lightest color, which I'm kind of, again, just going to give everything a little bit of a once over. All right, and the gold is done. So I'm going to do his belt next, which is black. And I will try to get them, I'm going to hold them even up, further up. Looks like I got it that time. Good for me. Practice makes perfect. Third time's a charm. All that jazz. So this one, just going to add shading to the left and right. Because his belt is shiny. So that's why we're leaving those highlights to indicate where it gets lighter and the shine is. It's hard not to turn my paper, y'all. Santa's mittens are green? What? Are they green? If they're green, girl, I'm just going to color glaze them. I'm not recoloring those things. If they green, we'll change it. But I thought they were white. Stacy, how do I know where the shading goes? So we talk a lot about in my videos any point where two things meet, any point where one thing lays on top of each other. If you get comfortable with that general rule, it will take your coloring up quite a bit, and then you can start getting a feel for other extra shading you would like to add. So here, I just want to point this out. I did not take the black all the way to the edge because I want there to be some differentiation between this black and that black. So I left a little bit of a gap. Dawn, that is a good point. You can make them whatever color you want. Mine are white, as we can see. Oh, I'm trying to cover with the chisel tip. What's even happening right now? And I know that you wouldn't think that it would make that big of a difference because the C9 is so close to black, but it really does. So it depends how important the light source is, Mary. If you've seen some of my videos where I've done like shadows or a glowing technique, in those, the light source is definitely more important. But something like this, where it's just fun and you're just kind of coloring it, um, just to color it and enjoy the coloring process, I wouldn't say your light source is important at all. If it's something that you want to get better at to improve your coloring, so you can do things more like the shadows, then I would encourage you to do that. But just to be happy with your images, nah, I don't think it's that important. Okay, belts done. All right, do we want to, do I always put down a base layer before I start coloring the image? No, I do not. Um, I usually start with my lightest color and then work out to my darkest. And where I put my lightest color is where I want my darkest shading to be. I don't, Chris, I never use the chisel tip. Never, never. All right. So this is my usual red combination. And if you're interested, all of these ones that I have used are on my blog. Um, because these are my like go-to combinations. So if you feel like you missed it somewhere along here, you could literally watch any other video that I have, or you could go to my blog and look at the Copic recommendations page. All right. We got a lot of things to color red. We're going to get these berries up here. So we're doing a little bit of like color mapping here. So this, I know that, so this part right here, where it's overlaying it, this section is going to be very dark. This section is going to be very light. So where we're adding our shading is really going to switch. So this part will be very light because we're going to continue that right down the line there. Oh, Beekeeper's Wife, the name of this stamp set is Saint Nick, so you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, and then here, these little guys, we're gonna add some shading. This is the kind of like the folds of his shirt, sweater. What does Santa wear? Coat? His coat. And then this would all be in shadow because it's going to be underneath. And then here under his beard, remember where one object lays on top of the other one is shadows. So here there will be shadows. And then I'm going to add just a little bit to make his belly look rounder. Same thing underneath here, under his belt. My apologies for whoever just text messaged me while I was in the middle of this live. Probably, honestly, my husband to tell me he was on his way home. Okay. And I think that's all the red things. All right, so now we'll start back up at the top with our next color, add a little shading to these berries. And this part, very dark. We're keeping that heat right there to make sure we don't get too far and eat up. All right. If you're more interested in like how to learn the coloring of folds, I just did with our the If the Broom Fits, which is one of our Halloween sets. I just did talking about coloring folds in that video. So, Stacy, no, I'm sorry. Annalisa, you made the comment about Sandy Allnock. She is amazing. I mean, she's definitely more of a fine art artist per se than I am. But funny story, I tell people all the time that I owned my Copics for years and I never used them. And I happened to be seated at a crafty function um, next to Sandy. And it literally was life changing because I was able to, as I was coloring things, I was able to ask her all of my questions. And she very graciously answered all of them, which gave me more confidence in my coloring for when I came home to play around and learn more about them. And now, 8 years ago, that's how we got here. So, oh, Mindy, I just inadvertently answered your question. So yeah, I did. I had my markers for years, and I never liked the way um, that I colored with them, and so I just felt like it was such a wasted investment. But I also didn't play with them very much. I would get discouraged and then I would give up and I would, go back to watercoloring or I would go on to zigs or colored pencils or something else. But I was so mad because I'm cheap. Y'all know I'm so cheap. And then I had spent so much money on them that I was like, I can't just let them sit there. I got to figure out a way to use them. And so I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and then I had that where I got to meet Sandy in real life, and have somebody to ask my questions to, which is one of the reasons why, even though tonight was such a disaster, such a disaster with the technology, like I will still do the lives, I will still do the videos because I hope that I can do that, what she did for me, for somebody else. And also, Mindy, didn't we met at Create. You took my make and take. So I did color with you. All right, onto the darkest color. And you can see, like, we're just repeatedly doing the same thing over and over again. We're not doing anything too crazy. I do want to add a little bit of shading in here. I just extended that out a little. Okay. All right, here on this arm, I'm only really going to add the darkest shading into kind of, again, the nooks and crannies, because I don't want to muddy up this section so it looks like he doesn't have an arm separate from his body. Oh, you guys are very sweet. And thank you for being so patient with me through the beginning of this, because Lord knows it was, we was on the struggle bus, weren't we? Yes, we were. Yes, we were. All right. So I can go back over here, add some shading to this arm. But this is why it's so important to do your whites first, because look at how dark this red is. Can you imagine trying to put a light gray up next to this and not pull that color into your sleeve? Oh my goodness, what a nightmare that would be. Not that I've never done it. You know I have. I've made all the mistakes. All right, now we're going to start to extend these same lines out as we're heading back towards our lightest color. Okay. Well, Abby, you're very kind to say so. I don't like it though. No, it does stress me out. All right. And just like, again, if you've watched my videos, we've talked about how the majority of what you should see should be your midtones. Your darkest color is for your shadows, your lightest color is for your highlights. So you're going to see quite a bit of this R29 and this R35. So you can see, like, as we go through, it starts to fill this up to where you just have your highlight sections. That's all that's left. There'll be a highlight right here. This is on top of his bicep. This will all be dark. Well, I'm glad it's relaxing. It's relaxing to Me too. Okay. This will all be just filled in. Probably brought that down a hair low, but that's all right. And now highlight color. And then I just kind of go over just a little bit of what else is there because, you know, lighter colors will lighten up darker colors. So just to have it blend a bit better. But I will tell you, and I'm really terrible at filling my markers, but they're only going to blend better if your marker has the proper amount of ink in it. If it's dry, that's not going to work. You got to have the ink moving in order to make them blend. All right. So what do we got left? Just his little, I don't know if the die cuts out the whole thing. I think maybe I should color this or at least clean up the edge a little bit. Oh, look, I just told you I never used the chisel tip and then I just used it. Just because I don't know how far it comes down, so I'm just kind of filling it in. Oh yeah, good job, Amy. Because this is super cute. All right, so now Holly up here. Okay. I know, like look how white, like his all the white looks white now with that red. Can you see these colors? I hope so. Okay. We're not gonna do much here. They're pretty tiny. I think she just called me the Bob Ross of Copics, and honestly, that's one of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten. All right, so now, do we have time to even? We're at an hour. Do we have time to turn this into a card? What do you guys think? Okay, a lot of yeses. Okay, all right, let's commit to it. You're not going to be able to see the majority of this die cutting. All right, so let's put this die down here. Oh, it is. It doesn't. See, I didn't need to do all that down here, but that's all right. Now I know. All right. Oh, where's my tape? All right. So I'm with Brandon on the blue background because Blue's my boyfriend. All right. So I bumped it, which was my own fault. Let's get some tapes in here. And then we'll die cut this bad boy out. So he's perfectly adorable. Oh, Mindy, you do need him. Okay. There he is, perfectly adorable. I do kind of love him. All right, so I have this. Let's see how this looks just to give us an idea. Oh, I think that might be kind of good. I also have a green one. You guys, I cannot even tell you how many different, if we have time, I'll show you at the end how many different variations of things I thought maybe I would teach you. I tried because I could not just come up with something that I liked. Okay, do we like the green or the blue? This part right here, I'll just color it. You could totally fussy cut it, but I'll just color it. All right, so I think we're going to go with the blue, which you know is always my preferred. Oh yeah, look at, he just looks so happy. Look how happy he is. He's like the happiest Santa I ever saw. Oh, Mindy, you and I are on the same with the Mojo train, girl. I cannot. I'm I'm on the struggle bus lately. All right, you guys know that I don't love a white outline. I'm gonna get rid of it. So I'm gonna look and see here. Looks like this 37 is gonna be pretty close to the outside. This maybe this B06. All right. So for the blue background, I used our, hold on, I'll show you. They're all stuck together because you guys know I use my Tombow Mono multi-glue. But this is the Nordic Winter stencil. So there's two, and they're layered on top of each other. And I used Salty Ocean, Blueprint Sketch, Chip Sapphire, and Black Soot. So now I'm just going to lay him here. And I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm not trying to get the edges at this point because I don't want to color on my background. I'm just trying to make sure, like, so you can see this matches this pretty well up here, but over here it's just a little too light. If you have just a solid card background that you haven't done this, what do we even call this, halo effect on, you probably don't even need to blend it. You could just pick one color. And in fact, the video that I put up today with another Copic coloring technique, but that video, I just did it one color because it didn't really matter. So this looks like it's going to match pretty well all the way across the board. So I'm just going to move this so I don't accidentally mark on it, and it's easier for me to go in there quickly. Most of the time I cut this part, like I show you guys a little bit of it, but I cut it out because it is kind of time consuming. It is kind of time consuming. But to me, it's totally 110% worth it. Like, it makes me so much happier with using die cuts. Because I just like when my scene looks like a seamless scene. I don't like when my scene looks like it's got a bunch of white outlines in it. As you can see, I am coloring on my glass mat, but it cleans up super easy. Thanks, Mindy. Thank you for stopping by and all your encouragement. All right. Almost there. We're almost there. Okay, so that's that. Let's put this back here so I can see where I need to add my shading to. Pretty clear I need to add some in here. Over around here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just getting, you know, close enough. Would you use the same color blue or black to do the edge circumference of the die cut? Chris, I don't think I understand your question. All right, so I think we should just glue him down flat. And we'll pop up the sentiment maybe. I'm so impatient with gluing. Well, and also cheap. Can you hear it? It's almost out. I have another one. Oh, everybody say hi to my mom. Nancy is my mom. Oh, yes. So I only take Chris, I'm sorry, now I understand. Um, I only use the black marker to go around the edges when I'm fussy cutting something, and that's just to make it like a cleaner look. But in that case, you want to use a water-based marker, not a alcohol marker, because the alcohol markers will bleed into your image. You guys are so sweet. My mom's the best. Okay. Stacy, I'm gonna let Lisa take this one. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to share it in a crafting group, but Lisa, if you could answer that question. My mom is like a celebrity, isn't she? All right, let's pick one of these adorable little sentiments. Have a holly jolly Christmas. You're on the nice list. I can explain, is that not so cute? Um, I think I like the Believe in the Magic of Christmas, but I don't think I would like a big square. So maybe we'll do you're on the nice list, which would be more of a rectangle. Let's try that. And I think we're going to do a navy. Nope, we're going with black. That's what I found. Line that up. And I am actually going to we just came out with, if you're not familiar, new pigment inks in metallics. So I actually think I'm going to use one of those. And I think I'm going to use the white. All right, so here we go. Normally, I would preheat my heat gun, but I don't want you guys to have to listen to it. Oh, Annette, thank you very much. Oh, Latifa, we've never met before. Well, thank you for stopping by, even though you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. All right. So I am going to heat emboss this just for the sake of time. Oh, I was in such a rush. I didn't even use my anti-static tool. Guys, we're a mess here. We're a mess. Let's see if I can clean this up or not. Nah, we're going to have to restamp it. Sometimes it just be that way. Let's do it again. All right, I just wiped that one off. Don't mind the trash stain on it. And now we will remember to use our anti-static tool. All right. Okay, let's try it again. Alrighty. There we go. I feel like the closer you get to the end of the card, the less there is to say. All right, so I did have just a little bit of, I'm going to use our tweezers to just, it doesn't have to be perfect, I know that, but you know, sometimes you just got to do it because you know it's the right way to do it and you can't stop yourself. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm sorry for the heat gun. Mute if necessary. All right. And this is one of the things that I love, hands down, is one of the best things that I love about honeybee sentiments is they match the dies, man. Like literally you can just line it up and cut it out and you don't have to worry about no label or nothing. So good. It's so good. All right, I'm going to die cut this out. gosh, why are you stuck? Okay. And I don't always use tweezers instead of a paintbrush. Okay, so just for transparency, I did wipe this off on my pants to get rid of the extra dust. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty cute, right? And then maybe we'll put some gems on this bad boy. I have been known to use tweezers. I use a paintbrush. I use the gem pokey tool. Sometimes that's a good one if you only need to get like one or two little particles. Well, Brandon, I'm a mom. So, yeah, it probably is a super mom move. I have no shame. All right. Oh, that is a hysterical scene. What would you have done if it was poop? Very funny. You guys know how I love the finicky bits, but that's all right. If we were not in a live, I probably would have die cut several of these and just stacked them up because that would have been way easier to get dimension. But we are where we are, people, and I'm trying to just make it happen. Can I? The camera isn't crooked, honey. Just my card is. All right, but hopefully you can see it a little bit better now. All right, I think that's good. Okay, all the little teeny tiny bits. And then, all right, y'all, where'd I set them tweezers? I had them. You saw them. I had them in my hand. All right. Okay, so now I think we're going to put this right underneath his arm. And I think that's good. And you know, we're going to add some glitters. Get his little holly. Get his belt. Get his bell. I was thinking about maybe putting some gems on it, but I don't know. Sorry. Random phone call. I don't really think we need the gems. What do you guys think? Honeybee does have really great ones, especially with this release. These two guys, the little gems and the little pearls. But I don't think that they're necessary. I think he's pretty good just the way he is. Santa may have glittery gloves. Absolutely. Your Santa can, for sure. And you can put glitter on whatever you want. I love glitter. Glitter. My best friend from high school, Annalisa, that's who. She thinks she can just call whenever she wants because we've known each other for 25 years. Well, I think that is it. So, thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me and watching this in portrait, even though it is nightmarish and you could not see the whole screen. Hopefully, I will be back on November 10th, and that one we will be able to figure out all of the issues, and maybe you'll be able to see the whole desk. Maybe, no promises. Um, So, oh, well, I guess we'll just hang out and chat while they pick, they're doing giveaways because Honeybee's the bomb diggity. So we'll just chat. You guys are so kind. Thank you. But seriously, this little Saint Nick stamp is pretty adorable. You know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll show you all the things I didn't show you when I was trying to figure out what to teach you. Okay, so first up, we have this background that I didn't use. Then we have this watercolor no line coloring that I didn't use. Then we have this Copic coloring black outline that I didn't use. And then we have 500. Here, I'll show you every single one of them. This is how many times I colored this ornament to try to figure out if this was something I should teach. Because I love this stamp set. So this was originally one of the options. Here, I'll show you. So it was going to be this guy, this little ornament. I gotta get them lined up. And this guy. But I didn't like it. So I scratched it. And then I just picked the Santa on a random. And here we are with our final card, which is pretty cute. So, all right. Well, congratulations to the winners. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I genuinely appreciate your time. I know it was a long one. And I will see you guys on the next live. So Amy will be doing next Thursdays and she'll be amazing. Um, so make sure you stop by and see her. And then I will be back on November 10th. All right. Have a good night.